countries called for restraint, Myanmar has seen its worst day of violence since last month's military coup. The UN says 38 protesters have been killed by the security forces, who witnesses said used live fire with little warning. At least 2 of the dead are believed to be teenagers. Deaths were reported in the main city Yangon, the second biggest city of Mandalay, Pakant in the north, and the central town of Ningyan. Earlier, it was announced that the post-president Win Min is facing new charges, including breaching the constitution, which could result in 3 years in prison. Scott Heidler reports now from neighboring Thailand.
New tactics and new equipment for the protesters as the crackdown from Myanmar security forces escalates. But despite this, Wednesday's protests again turned deadly. With live ammunition being used along with rubber bullets and stun grenades, the protesters now wear helmets, use homemade shields, and even create smoke screens themselves to hide from snipers and gunmen. But when the smoke clears, the protest barriers, their line of defense, are gone. In Mandalay, a regular scene for gatherings during the month of protest, they have also increased their protection against the police and military. But even with the added measures, there's little they can do against live rounds. And in the southern city of Dawei, the red flag of Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD party was hoisted. Images of the military leader Min Aung Hlaing pasted on the ground. As the protests continued on Wednesday, ousted President Win Min will face 2 additional charges, his lawyer describing what it could mean.
She'll be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both.
Some feel that the charges against Win Min and Aung San Suu Kyi are trumped up, possibly to prevent them from ever returning to politics.
Despite Win Min being detained since 1 February, he's only now just had access to his lawyers, and his lawyers haven't even received a copy of the charge sheet or the case file. So these are fundamental fair trial right violations that are taking place on top of everything else.
So as the protesters continue their stand against the coup on the streets across Myanmar, their elected leaders are facing their own battle in a judicial system that appears to be working against them. Scott Heidler, Aljazeera.
Healthcare workers joined the civil disobedience movement against military rule shortly after last month's coup. And since then, many have been trying to offer medical help to protesters. Al Jazeera has obtained this video from a Yangon grocery store. The CCTV footage shows what appears to be officers forcing volunteer medics out of a vehicle before beating them with rifles and batons. Al Jazeera has not been able to verify the footage. Medics accuse Myanmar police of repeatedly targeting them. Well, a little earlier, I spoke to a protester in Myanmar who we aren't naming for her own safety. She told us what she's witnessed in the past few hours.
Right now, they are shooting Free Funeral Service Society in North Oglapa Township. That township is in the eastern part of Yangon. They are also shooting the hospital. I don't know why, but they are shooting and kidnapping people right now. Even I'm talking to you. I live in Ningalarong Township, near that North Oglapa Township, which was a lot of people died today evening. As far as I know, there were 22 people died, and over 50 people got injuries, and some more about 20 people are in critical condition.
You know that the military are sometimes firing live rounds. So in light of that, how do you and other protesters try to protect yourselves?
We build a group of people to work at night, group by group, and they watch since 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning every day to watch with doing something bad.
International Criminal Court has launched an investigation into alleged war crimes in the Palestinian territories. The Palestinians who joined the ICC in 2015 have asked the court to look into